The study looked at an enormous area, 86,000 square kilometers to be exact, or slightly larger than the province of New Brunswick. The area, which runs from the southwestern tip of James Bay and then north and west into Hudson's Bay, is home to polar bears, beluga whales, and migratory birds. And this is why people like Amos Wesley want to protect the area's environment for generations to come.
And it's up to us to fight to keep it green, to keep it pristine, to keep it breathing.
Natasha Martin is the other Deputy Grand Chief of the Mushkegowuk Council. She adds this is why it is so important area First Nations push forward in creating a national marine conservation area.
I use the land. My dad uses the land. My uncles use the land. So I would never put in jeopardy anything that would affect that. And the reason why I'm talking like this is because I want you to understand how passionate I am for the land and how important this project really is.
Sam Hunter is an environmentalist from the Winisk First Nation. He says climate change is yet another reason why the area must be preserved.
The number one carbon sink in the world is the oceans, followed by the peatlands. And then to understand how to reduce your carbon footprint is very important. I think understanding these carbon sinks is one thing. The most important thing is reducing your carbon footprint.
Mushkegowuk Council is made up of 8 different First Nations, and while there is largely consensus on conserving the area, how to get there is a different story. Distrust of government is high, as this exchange with Environment and Climate Change Parliamentary Secretary Adam Van Couverden during the press conference illustrates.
I didn't take part in that study that you're talking about, that feasibility study. I didn't. There's a reason why.
Madeline Scott, a band councillor with Fort Albany First Nation, agrees First Nations need to think long and hard before signing any agreement with the federal government.
I urge all young people to be careful of what you agree to. I urge the leaders, be careful what you're going to agree to, because it's going to hurt our children, our great-grandchildren.
Lawrence Martin, a former Grand Chief with Mushkegowuk Council, says he understands the concerns, but believes with time the First Nations will be able to move to an agreement with government everybody can live with.
It seems to be a lot easier to get consensus from the community members. They all agree that we need to protect the land and resources. They want to protect everything that we talked about here today. But it's the chief and councils that are afraid to make that commitment, to sign any document. You know, I think it just requires more time, as what was stated here.
The feasibility study is just a first step in the process. Further negotiations and consultations with the federal, Ontario, and Nunavut governments will be required. Fraser Needham, APTN National News, Ottawa.